Hello, Dr. Kim. Thanks for joining IONOVIS. Today we are at the briefing of the ambassador about the upcoming Connect Asia Pacific Summit, which will take place in Bangkok on the 18th of November this year. Dr. Kim, could you start with telling us what is about this summit?
Thank you very much, first of all, to invite ITU to this very important interview. This Asia Pacific Connect Asia Pacific Summit in Thailand is very unique for not only in fact ITU but also ICT sector as a whole, because this is the first ever summit in our region to invite all these heads of the states and government from 38 member states from Asia Pacific region. At the same time, we are inviting over 1,000 our ITU sector members globally to engage in more project actions, initiatives, and so on. So this is a combination among public, private peoples, which means we call it like a smart partnership to envision and then Asia Pacific Smartly Digital 2020 with that visioning, and we try to implement actions out of this vision to deploy the ICT infrastructure as well as a huge applications and services in this the part of the world.
And so what will be discussed among these leaders for that one-day meeting?
In fact, this is only in fact as a one-day event compact with all these leaders' vision and then statement. At the same time, we will have a high-level the panel discussions where visionary leaders from government, private industry, even academia come together to debate and then envisioning the future that towards like 2020, we can create some not only digital society towards a creative economy for all.
So what is the importance or the substance of this summit?
This summit, we are focusing on ICT. As I mentioned, this is the first ever summit in ICT sector. ICT, you call it information and communication technology, or known as broadband. This is not just only technology. This is not even infrastructure per se. This is a fundamental critical enabler for cross sectors from transportations, educations, and the health, and then even environment. Even we are talking about the gender empowerment, and then also even persons with a disability. So we are talking about cross-sector issue over the ICT. So ICT can be such a big foundation to allow this application to be embedded in the society we are looking forward in 2020. So having said that, these leaders from actually government and private sector, and they come together to talk about how we can actually bridge the gap of this ICT. Why ICT? ICT, as I said, it is a foundation, and then the worldwide today, we have about almost in terms of a wireless broadband, we have about 90, 70, whatever percentage of the like a penetration rate, which means access. But the world average is around 30% of the penetration rate. But in case of Asia Pacific, it's only 22%, which means we have such a big gap. Asia Pacific region, we have 2/3 of world populations, okay, with such a diverse and such a big gap. But this is 22% of the penetration rate, so meaning we are talking about a 900 million population access now, and which is almost as total of entire penetration rate of the non-Asia Pacific, which means we have such a huge opportunity for investment for the population and for the demands and so on. And then also we have the countries in our region, countries like China, India on one hand, we have a smallest country in the Pacific. So lots of challenges between these two groups. At the same time, we have countries like Singapore, Japan, and Korea, which is the top layers of this ICT development and the list. So we have such a big gap. So through this summit, we want to bridge this gap and then come up with more digital opportunities through creative ideas that you have, and then finding some application, also even business opportunities for all. So this is why we are having summit in ICT, and then to have the vision from the leaders. The reason why we are saying, and then ICT, normally in each country we have a line ministry of an ICT. But when I talk about now in an ICT, it's not just only ICT. This can be for all this cross-sector issue that I mentioned, which means you need to have some leader to oversight and have over the broad planning and strategy to embrace all these cross-sectors into the summit, and then look forward and for the future with your creativity and innovations.
So this summit will take place just before the Telecom World, which Bangkok will also host from 19 to 22nd of November. So why this summit is just only Asia Pacific, not the World Summit?
Thank you very much for very good the question. In fact, this is a part of our Connect series, and then this is initiated from World Summit on Information Society, which is we call it the WSIS, and then held about 10 years ago. And then with that the mandate of a visit that ITU is leading to meet the goals of the visit, we started from Africa 2007, and then it went to other regions like CIS and the Arab and America last year. And so Asia Pacific is last but not least the important events in our region. So that is why it is happened to be region-wise, so Asia Pacific Connect Summit. But this is again first ever summit which is back to back with our World Telecom. Even World Telecom is our flagship event of ITU, where you can have the latest services and products of ICT at the same time with the nature and the strengths of ITU having a government and the public sector and so on. So we will have a national pavilion run by the government. We will also have some kind of a pavilion and booths from the industry. So we will have all this like a pavilion exhibition as a back-to-back with the summit. And then this is a world event. This is a second world event after Hong Kong. And then this is the first world event in Thailand. So leaders and anyone, any stakeholders can together for the summit can have an opportunity to see latest services and application of ICT, so that when they go back, they can use the latest technology to reflog their country and economy for the Digital Society 2020.
Yeah, the fact that Thailand will host the first Connect Asia Pacific Summit, does this signify anything that Thailand has been chosen or Thailand accept to be the host of this summit, Asia Pacific Summit?
In fact, Thailand is the most popular destination for everybody, including all the ITU, the member state and sector members. And one of the main reason is that because we have this World Telecom, which is chosen and then hosted by the Royal Thai government. With that opportunity, we saw this excellent opportunity for leaders, rather than just come and then have us envisioning, actually see what is the status of ICT infrastructure and then services now, so that they can plan better for the years to come, 2020. So that is why we carefully designed to have a back-to-back, and then it will be very important for Thailand to host the event, because now Thailand is a center of ASEAN, especially AEC. So this is a best opportunity for Thailand to host this very important event, which can also meet the goal of AEC as well as the goal of the WSIS and the MDGs at the end.
And this will be my last question. What can we expect from this Connect Asia Pacific Summit in Bangkok on the 18th of November?
Thank you very much. That's also a very important question. Indeed, this is such an opportune time and a very, very important summit for everybody. So what we are expecting is vision. So vision can be the stated, and then with the endorsement of and then by the leaders. That vision will be formulated with the actions. We put for the time being about the 6 priority areas, including infrastructure, applications, so human skill building, digital inclusion, and investment opportunity, and also fostering smart partnership, meaning public-private people's partnership. These are just a draft form, but these are all depending on the needs of the countries from our region. So we have started the process to consult with all stakeholders, not only our region, but also from actually other regions. That is why we invited all these ambassadors and excellencies from even other regions to share and then advise us with their lesson to learn, so that we can actually build Asia Pacific. Because now in the digital world is very much interconnected or interdependent as a part of the world society. So I am really looking forward to have not only vision at the end, but also concrete actions to meet and realize the Vision 2020 Smartly Digital Asia Pacific. And then having said that, the vision can be implemented with the various projects. So that is the strength comes. So here we have already about 20 to 25 partners being identified, and then we are working very closely. Some projects have already announced. We are going to have an announcement of this competition. So competition is now on the air and under the progress. And then likewise, depending on the nature of the project, we are going to provide some opportunity or platform for all these partners to come and then award or launch or sign and then initiate to implement the project for the years to come. So this is an opportune time, and then summit, the first ever summit in Asia Pacific, in Thailand in particular, so you shouldn't miss it.
Today, our program would like to thank Dr. Kim very much for this very informative discussion. And I really believe that we will have you again before the summit and the Telecom World in November. Thank you very much today, Dr.
Thank you very much. Looking forward for another opportunity so I can be able to update you the progress.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.